skies. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise.
Okay, I solved the problem. Nice. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the BATHURST endurance round. As I had some major issue with my microphone because it wasn't working, or rather it was, but we decided that it wasn't worthy. So after reinstalling the little driver, I am back here with my voice. You also 777 going absolutely nuts, creating a 3 times gap with Tasca, who joined the top 3 as Livke was early on in 2nd place, but he is now 4 times behind Mutten that effectively put the car in a very nice placement with a 200.295. There was a Ferrari there sitting in the middle of, well, not really the middle, but rather the right side of the road. Now everybody is going back on track to put the second stint in the qualifying rounds. Usually it's 3 to 4 laps, with one being used effectively to heat up the tires, which with these temperatures it's not really needed. 24 degrees in both the air and the track surface, so the tires should be heated up quite rapidly. Simnet has the best first and second sector. The third one is in Mari's hands. He is currently in 11th for the MF, but let's ask for big project studio. Strato, apologies, wasn't reading the name. Big project Strato is in 2nd place, even without best sectors, so this means that effectively either Mari has an optimal chance to make it into top positions, or that simply that car is made only to go quick on a straight line. Maybe because Mari himself lost 4 times and an entire second to the pole sitter, clearly putting quite blatantly the fact that their car is very good in a straight line, but that's it. Nakira Nakira here in 4th place. He's currently about to set the second best lap, as he just lost some time on the chicane. Can he put it in pole by doing the final corner in an optimal manner? He doesn't. He gets 2nd place, and it's the first sector, the one where he loses, and a tiny bit on the 3rd, respectively a 10th and half a 10th. No, okay, yeah, half a 10th in the 3rd. Oh, okay, in the 3rd he actually gains a tiny bit. He just lost in the 2nd sector. He just updated the sector times with a 2:0.4. Set nearly the same lap time, nearly the same sector time in the 1st part. The 2nd sector he lost nearly a 10th, and then in the 3rd he actually went quicker than Mutten, who is now back on track. Tasca is also still here on the attack, but realistically this car can effectively be at least in the 1st row, never mind the 1st position altogether. Several cars that still haven't set lap time. Currently 6 cars that are sitting in the pits. And as I said earlier, Tasca is going quite quickly. He currently sits in third. He's currently going 2 times quicker than himself. The issue is that he lost the majority of the time in the second sector, but in the third he actually gained. If you can aim for a better placement, this could be pole position. He cuts as much as possible the final corner. That was a very nice line, but unfortunately he lost a tiny bit of time by going on the grass as the traction control kicked in. But he now, no, never mind, he goes on the grass and doesn't improve. He does actually improve his own lap time, but it doesn't improve his position. It was very unfortunate. Let's look at the replay. Look at this. He just goes on the grass and ruins his own lap time. So we're going with the 1-1-3 while racing here in the Ferrari. 5th place at the moment and the 3rd best sector. And 3rd... yeah, 3rd best sector. I mean... they set a purple lap in the 3rd sector. 26.8 seconds. Just have to gain some more time in the second, where they lost 6 times in the best lap. Where they are about to cross the line as Zitz is in 5th, Fabio is down in 4th, after still going quicker than anybody else in the first sector. But he lost nearly 4 times in the second sector only, so even for them, clearly, the setup is prompted to go quick on a straight line, and that is the whole plan. Now Zitz also going very strong in the first sector. He gained 2 times on himself. There are 4 times to put together. So now into the technical zone, where if you have enough downforce you can go flat out. Now into the dipper, as close to the walls as possible. This is a very nice lap. Look at, well, you can't see it, but I can see my race control, and it says 4 times. They just have to put together a very nice final sector, which is entirely possible considering their 3rd sector was actually the worst of the top 7. So they can gain a single 10th and they can get pole position. They just have to put this together. Looking at the 80 meters mark. Oh, a bit too late, maybe. Tiny bit too late, but it's the final corner that is the most important here. All the way to the right. Nice line on the apex, and it was indeed a fantastic lap, but unfortunately it's just 3rd place after Nakira went in 1st just now, with not even a single purple sector. Milton is now 10 milliseconds behind, and Zitz is 47 milliseconds behind Nakira. At 2:00.285, the Italian sits in the pole position, as Livke just put the car in 5th after setting the best 1st sector. Again, worsening the lap in the 2nd and getting it on line in the 3rd. So it's clear that the majority of the cars went with a low downforce setup. Not really much to discuss here. But probably Mutin and Tim went on with a high downforce setup only for qualifying. Oh, that's a wall. Yep, that's the carry in the wall for Lifke. For Flyby Esports. As I was saying, the 777 could realistically be the only one on high downforce setup for quali, but can't really know if they are on the very same setup even for the race. Sector is about to cross the line in 20 seconds. He will get on to improve the lap, probably. Oh, never mind. The second said it. He decided to go into the pit. And so we have the first 8 places gapped by only 6 times. And then there is a bit of a gap. Well, more than a bit. It's actually a huge gap from 8th to 9th. As Pavliuk proved his own position, is now 4th. And the Lyubovslavsky, the 555 for Volcanoes Motorsport, is in 4th with a 200.4. So we have the top 7 gapped by less than 3 times, and then a 2-1 which sits in the middle. As Thomas Nopek is delivering the car and will probably try to aim for top spot, half a second in front. As I can't really understand if he's on a valid lap time or not. Unfortunately, with the change of driver, couldn't really know. And the answer is that he was on a lap, but the lap was at 01.0, so effectively nothing value was added to their list of lap times. That's on the other hand, was once in 2nd place, he's now in 6th. The gap has always been the same. 2 times. But drivers kept improving, and now Taskas finds himself and team 5-1 Martin in 6th place. And only a little improvement could bring the car in at least 5th or even 4th. As he goes on the final corner. Remember last time he battered it, and in fact it goes way better now and puts the car in 4th, less than a 10th behind Akira. And yet outside the podium spots as of now. As Nopex is shown with 6 tenths improvement. So this could be pole position by an easy amount of time for the 2-1 Aston Martin. And I really think that the car is actually en route to being put on pole position, to be fair. The gap is now going down, so it wasn't 7 tenths, but it was an improvement, and it was an immense improvement from their 8th place. They are now in 4th by less than a tenth, even for them. Many people actually weighing very close to pole. We have, at the moment, 8 teams with less than 3 temps. So the gaps are as narrow as it gets. And with only 5 minutes to go, there aren't many other chances for all these teams. And effectively everybody can win. 0.285 up ahead is still the quickest lap time. Ironically, both Pavliuk and Lifke made the exact same sector, which is the best timing on there. As Taska goes in pole position with a 2:00.202 after completing a perfect final sector by gaining an entire time only there and effectively putting the car in pole. 2:00.202. We can't get below the 2:00 mark, unfortunately. But on the gap between first and eighth is 3.5 temps. As Taska nearly created a 10th between Akira and Tasca, which just doesn't seem like a lot, but remember that between second and eighth there are 2.5 temps. So even a 10th here would realistically mean the world. Just in comparison, between second place and 5th place, there are 50 milliseconds. 60 to be honest. 65 to be exact. 65 milliseconds between second and 5th. And that's even less than a 10th. As Nopek goes in the pizza, this could mean that they are over with qualifying. Rest at the moment is in... Hi. Welcome Ian to the stream. Zres improves and goes in 15th place in the car number 63. Sitting a second behind Paul Sitter. Zakal is now in the car in the 331, currently sitting 7 tenths behind. And 5 milliseconds behind Kren in the 95 BMW. So realistically the only place they can get is the number 9. Considering Lifke is about 4 tenths in front. Unless they can get a monstrous lap. No real improvement is expected apart from being 9th. Which they are en route to do so. In fact, they are now in 9th place. Nakira made a mistake somewhere because they were going very quick. Oh, there was a car. Oh, there was a car. Oh, there was a crash also with Aston Martin. It was it impeding? So it was the C21 Thomas Nopek. Ooh, this could have major implications. Yeah, he had blue flags. He had blue flags and never give the way to flat out esports. And this could realistically be an impeding penalty for the car in 5th place. So like another look. Yeah, you can see the blue flags there. So yeah, the car was simply trying to stay ahead for some reasons. And then they both crashed. I don't think they were impeding on purpose because there was no need to do so. But Akira was improving. And was actually en route to be in pole position. So I expect a penalty to be applied. as the Mutant is currently going very quick with Zactal. Goes back in 9th place after Mari put the car in 9th early on for DMF Corsa, but the FRL car goes back in 9th place in the 331. The Mutant here is about to improve. Only 10 milliseconds will be enough to get at least the first row, which is extremely important in Bathurst. And if they can get the 93 milliseconds gap in the last corner, it will be pole position. We'll see just now as they go. Oh, the final corner, it's not enough for pole, it's enough for second place. 60 milliseconds away from Tasca, but in the first row in the grid. So this will be an important milestone for the team in the 777 car, and Lifke just improved, but really not enough to get 7th. They stay in 8th, only 3 times behind. And so this is your grid, although 2 more cars are about to cross the line, but they are both out of pace by several seconds for one and several tenths for the other. As I cross the line now. So Tasca is your pole sitter in 5-2-1. Can I get back to... Oh, okay, I can't. This is fantastic. I cannot. In the big project Strato with a 200.202. And the Mutant just behind. In the flyby esports Cryonics Racing. The 777 just went over the line on the final second to put the car in second place in the first row. And then behind Nakira, 998 from Red Out Esports. Although again, a penalty could appear to Nopek and team after what happened early on. 5 AM start for the 8 hours of Bathurst. So we'll go through the grid just now. Big Project Strato will start in first place in a 5-2-1. Aston Martin just in front of Michael Mutant starting in the 777. Flyby per Cryonics. 9-8 Flat Out Esports starts in third, just in front of Racing, of World Racing in fourth place. Cryonics Tech Noah starts in fifth in the 77, in front of the 2-2-1 in sixth for FRL. 555 with Valkanos Motorsport starts in 7th with Flyby Esports in 8th, in front of the 331 McLaren, FRL and DMF Corsa 778 Ferrari. Then we go in 11th for the other Flyby Esports BMW this time, not McLaren. Pole position in AM class for Dragon 13 Racing and Okuni Academy in 13th. From Racing 993 in 14th and then 296 in 15th. Number 63 for Assetto Racing team in 16th place with a 999 Flat Out Esports in 17th place. TTR Racing team in 18th with Assetto Racing team in 19th and 99 Assetto Racing team in 20th place. 666 in 21st with Longsman in 22nd with Tatsu in 23rd. FRL number 44 in 24th with Tokota Esports in 25th. We will Global Racing in 26th. MR Reparto Coaching in 27th. And Fabian Racing Academy in 28th. Now if you're wondering why certain teams are at the very back end of the grid, I'd like to see that maybe this could be
30 seconds.
penalty. I'm quite sure it's a penalty.
20 seconds.
Just to be sure, I'm checking it.
10 seconds.
So yeah, it is indeed a quali ban. This has been confirmed by the race control, let's say. And so yeah, MR Reparto Coaching, Kermit Motorsport, 666, Tokota Esports, Vivid Global Racing and Falcon Racing Academy, all the teams that are in the backyard of the field have been given a... Well, one of the cars effectively is not in the race anyway, which is the number 43, but all the other 4 cars were effectively with a quali ban for this race. And 792 will start from the pits, so not putting the car on the grid in time. So long way to go for Tokota Esports, for 70 Vivid Global Racing, for MR Reparto Coaching, and for Falcon Racing Academy, all of which have to go through the grid in Bathurst after the quali ban. Also, you may have noticed a different rotation in the sponsor on the right part of your screen. That's because there are some new additions, and especially Simnet, which is a load cell pedals provider, and they have both support for both PC and the PlayStation through Fanatec. So if you want to have a better equipment for your racing sim rig, just check on their website simnetracing.com, where you can have a good look on both pedals and other accessories for your rig. And also thanks to obviously all of our other sponsors, Coach Dave, Delta, Faster Racing, Designs, Garage 44, obviously SimLab, and also a couple of more others. Which I'm going to here. Just give me a second. So we have Cube Controls, Timson, Cube Controls, which is also a new partner, especially in the Master. And as I said earlier, Simnet, which also is important help for FRL, and also SWIT, which is the main partner for the Endurance Championship. I should have gone through all of them. And obviously SimGrid, but that's a bit mandatory to be partnered by SimGrid, considering this race was created and organized through the SimGrid website and the whole method on which you can create your own races and championships. But back to the main race, 8 hours to go. And I honestly expect much to happen. So we will start now the 8 hours of Bathurst in nighttime. As 792 is also preparing in the pits. Already a great gap between Pavlyuk and Nakira, and it's green light, and away we go with an impressive start by Muten. Tasca practically sleeping on the start, and Muten already putting the car in first place. Again, not really offensive, and Tasca loses another placement. That's Nakira this time around going for second place, and this could be also the 1-1-3 going for another position. So Tasca with a terrible start, letting 2, maybe 3 teams ahead, and then there is a little fight between the flyby and the FRL cars, and Tasca loses another place. Look at this! As Zitz in the Lamborghini managed to get ahead of the pole sitter. Tasca is now from the lead in 5th place. Terrible situation for the Italian driver and the team altogether. They now find themselves in a terrible spot in the middle of the traffic when they had the opportunity to make it into clean air. Smooten already has a 1.4 gap. Look at this. Already flying away from Nakira. And then the 998 follows behind. Pavlyuk with a huge gap already. And Zaitz is the most offensive driver as it stands. As he started in 5th place. But they did an attack on the mountain straight. They did on 2nd corner, which is banked, so it helps. Now Tasca has to do something on that matter. Tasca Sitter is now in 14th place after overtaking Sodre. The 993 FRL 993 for this 993 FRL car. Mutin obviously with the fastest lap, but it doesn't count at the moment. I will use many times this onboard camera, because oh, there was some contact I think between Tasca and Nopek, considering it's nighttime and not much can be seen. As Nopek could realistically get closer and closer to Tasca. And Pral, oh, that was very close for Pral on Nopek. To go into the hairpin, late braking for the 195. Oh, nearly on the wall. For the car in 7th place. As the top 3 already created some gap to the following cars, and there were some incidents that we will see just now, because I think there is some pose in action. Look, you can see this situation. There was a slight contact among several cars there, and there was contact between 63 and the 999. It's just some side contact. And there was this one here, which was between the 77 and the 521. Oh, a bit of bump draft, nothing to worry too much about. There are a couple of cars in the pits already, as Barracuda goes for the overtake on Verzager, the Aston Martin, and Dobos did the same on Hoffmans. Dobos, one of the teams that have been penalized. So they started from the retail end of the grid. They are already in 17th place. As the 164 also made the overtake on Verzager, who is now going in the pits. 792 is now in 24th place after starting from the pits, but you can see the gap to the next following car. Even a 70, VVD Global Racing had some trouble at the very start of the race. The 992, unfortunately, I do not have the actions in my replay. I don't really know what happened to them. Snowpack is as close as it gets to Tasca. The gap is getting larger between Jason and Pavliuk. The tier is not really helping these cars. And apparently it's now Prowl on the attack phase on Nopek, who is defending the outside line. McLaren going on the inside. Can he make the overtake? As Aston Martin still keeps the inside line into the chicane, and so Prowl remains behind, while Luboslavski lost the position on Zakdal, and he nearly did so also by Mari in 10th place. Suarez also going for the move there in 11th place on Kren. There's a car with yellow flags, that's 44, getting lapped by everybody else. Oh, actually it's sideways. This car is not really in a great situation. Dobos trying the attack, the Tokota Esports 137. There was some damage to the car also, so yeah, you can see the rear being damaged. Dobos stays behind, 137 still on the attack phase to get a better placement here. Among the cars that started on the backbone of the field, the 137 is actually the best one at the moment, supposedly with some damage. But if that brought the car in this very position, it's all for good. Oh, there is an incident there. Oh, Zakdal is off. Zakdal is into the wall as he loses all the position he had. He was in 8th place. You can see what happened. Oh, he just lost the rear. Yeah. Oh, big shunt. And car demolished. Yeah, the car is done for it. The car is completely broken. You can see the suspension damage, the steering rack completely on the right. The aerodynamic proficiency of a brick now, considering the damage. Nearly colliding with Dobos, who is passing by, and that's the pit lane for Zakdal 100%, as the car is either undrivable or slow, or and it's actually a combination of both. But this could be race over for the 331. This could basically be race over for them. Go back with Dobos, who is the most offensive car at the moment. As the gaps ahead have come down. Oh no! Ooh, that's a wall! Oh, that's another mistake for Dobos, going into the wall, nearly colliding with the car in front, and that's also Busset getting the position done. So we can see what happened. Maybe I went too much back in time. Yeah, you can see nearly colliding in the rear end and losing 2 positions by doing so. And also there is some damage on the car that will be repaired, and at this point Fiorentini is now getting closer and closer to Dobos, effectively nullifying every improvement that has been done laps far. The Italian that is bringing together the other Italian. He's actually going on the left of the Aston Martin to get a position. Also there is a double overtake. There was also doubles going in front of Abusset. As the Ferrari 999 stays now in front. The 137 takes the inside line and makes the position back on the flat out esports driver. So Nopek still close to Tasca. These cars haven't really moved in any way. Zit is going as close as fast as Pavliuk. The 77 hasn't really gained the last lap, so if anything, the gap remained the same. It's actually Milton and Akira that are getting away, especially from Pavliuk. The gap between the front duo is only 1.3 seconds, and that has been the gap for pretty much the whole race so far. Pavliuk is now 3 seconds behind Akira, and Zitz and the whole train is getting closer. The second in front is Bianco that is getting lapped. That's the car in 28th place with Trunka in the 101 TTR Racing. Now Tasca sits extremely close to the Lamborghini, and Cassetta just made the overtake on Belyevtsev, the 110 Mustang. As you go back here, because you can see Tasca very aggressive, but I think the Lamborghini just survived because of the BMW that has been passed by everybody else, which gave a speed boost to Zitz in the 77. Nopek that is very close. It keeps being very close. Now over the downhill section. The major implications for these drivers effectively is the blue flag scenario. As there is a car sitting in the middle of the way, that's 44, which is not really helping the situation by stopping in the middle of the racetrack. Oh, there was an incident here, as Jones is into the wall. Aspral is also very close to Nopek, that's for 7th place. And just going for the move in the 95. Fly by esports in front of Suarez. Oh, there was a contact there with number 13. It was a very odd situation. Let me see it again from another angle. This is the earlier overtake between the 95 and the 13. Now the 95 is back in front of Suarez. Dobos is losing the place on Hoffman's, supposedly for the contact early on. Their top speed has been ruined, and Rice gains the position on Sodre. So now the 63 is in 14th place. This whole pack of cars is battle for 13th. Gabos has just lost a position on the Aston Martin there. That's Hoffman's in the Assetto Racing team. Scasitra is also going for the overtake on Suarez on the Ferrari, and that's the 296 now is in 11th. It's not over yet. You can see the BMW that still has some speed to give. There's some weaving on the braking spot, which maybe will be seen better by the judges. And Casita for now remains in 11th. It's always just behind. 63 is very close as Dobos gain back the place on Hoffman. And I would say he's going for the move on Hoffman. So that would be 2 places lost in Alpha Lap, maybe 3 considering the BMW number 22. Asfaro is very close to this duo, but I would say that chose the left side of the road. Hoffman's going on the right side. There's a position being taken back on the Aston side. Ferrari tried to squeeze the BMW on the inside, but I would say it was too late on the matter. He remains on the inside. Oh, the BMW massively into the wall, and that's a major damage for Faro. Possibly losing all the air. Oh, there is a massive crash here. Oh, it's a big one. Oh, this could be the big one with ice in the middle of the road, and there is more contacts and more incidents and more cars in the middle there. Everything unfolded in a few seconds. We'll see the whole action from the very beginning. So this is what happened behind the Mustang. Oh, they hit the wall. Oh, they hit the wall, and then you can see all the cars going through. Unfortunately, not enough time to react for them. Another car that was the Aston, that was the teammate car, completely sideways, and then 95 flyby Perkins lost all the positions for an incident on the very same spot. So this is what happened. Oh no, it's already too late. So this is what happened to their car. They were on the hairpin. Have they been tapped? Or was it on their own? Oh, it was on their own. Oh, that's the car done. Yeah, that's another car with massive damage. And unfortunately, because of all the incidents happening at the same time, Pavlyuk is now in 5th place. This is in 3rd. And as always, the second I go for a replay, everything has to happen on the same second. Sasuke is now very close to the Ferrari driver, not enough to make a position. We have now 1.4 seconds, so his team lost everything. On the racetrack early on. I wonder if it was for an incident. This was already done for. If I go. Oh, that is. Oh, that's the car in the wall! Oh, that's Mari into the wall! That was 778 going into the wall, and that's also Suarez. The contact with the wall. I think they just survived the DMF Corsa. I really want to know what happened here, because clearly something massive happened. But this was a bit late. Let's try like this. Okay, I may have found it. So I'm going to wait a tiny bit. Spral is just about to make the position with Nakira that went quicker than anybody else. This could be Tasca losing another place. Car that was once in the top spot is now in 6th, getting attacked. But everything doesn't happen, luckily for them. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, that was pretty evident. But there was something. I may have found it. Let's go for a replay. Oh, it was a Mercedes just spinning in the middle of the road. Oh, and the 44 again. It doesn't be the first time this car has been involved in something. And that's why the 113 was damaged in the action. That's why Pavlyuk is now in 5th place. The 44 has been, quite honestly, with yellow flags for the major part of the race so far. And the 95 has been given a stopping of 30 seconds penalty for speeding in the pits. And they also have damage, as Nopek is about to make a position on the Lamborghini driver. There is contact between the two. There is some grass being taken away from the chicane, and there's a Lamborghini still on the inside line. Can they defend third place? Nopek on the outside with Zates on the inside line. More contact between the two. Pavlyuk is still in 5th. Tusk is about to make the position on the inside line, and that's still a Lamborghini in 3rd place, defending against Nopek, giving a position of good advantage to Pavlyuk, who could take back his own place. He actually chooses to go for the bump draft on the Aston Martin driver who goes on the outside on turn 2 with Pavlyuk defending the inside line. There's more contact between Pavlyuk and Tasca this time around, as there was also Pral making a move on the outside, which didn't happen. Nopek still defending, still attacking on a defending Zitz, and somehow no changes in position. But Zitz defended in a wonderful manner, as if it was the last lap, but in a clean manner too. And this for now remains in third, although by losing a lot of time. Oh, that was Tasca going on the grass for a brief moment, nearly losing the rear end of the car and effectively putting the car in the wall. Tasca remains in sixth. And now Pral is the fastest off this hole. Oh, he had to lift off. He had to lift off. Should have been more aggressive. I'll be honest. That was a very important moment. He chose to be not as aggressive as I thought. I mean, it makes sense. It's still 8 hours to go. Don't really want to ruin your whole race for a single overtake. And there's a yellow flag in 792 sitting in a hairpin. Oh, they just lost the rear on their own. As he'll pass them through. And Tasca is here. Still in fourth, although this time this could be a very nice moment for Tasca to making it into fifth place, as Pavlyuk defended inside. And an overtake on the outside is very difficult, but it's possible, trust me. Did it a couple of times. You just have to make it very, very accurate and precise manner. But it's possible on the outside, trust me. And it's extremely funny to do it. And because the outside is banked, so you can actually overtake on the outside because the outside is banked, so you can have better grip on the exit. And anyway, and the gap between Nakiri and Milton is still 1.4 seconds. Zitz is now 8 seconds behind. This whole train is 8 seconds behind. Pavlyuk is losing a lot of time, obviously because of the front end damage. It's not helping this car. I'm really surprised by Tasca. He's the only car that effectively lost positions on pace alone. But there is also Luboslavski that lost a place. But not 5. And nearly 6. As Pral is about to get offensive. About to make another place. So I'm starting to think that Tasca's idea, or rather the Big Project Stratos idea, was to have a better car through the turns and the corners because they were in first place. Unfortunately, the plan went in flames the second they lost every position. So now they are stuck with a car that is effectively quicker in the turning phase, but it's not as fast in the straights, and so the only way to make positions for them is to go off sync, because they can make positions in clean air. So they should go for either the undercut or the overcut. So oh, the Pavlyuk nearly into the wall, depending on what Pavlyuk is going to do. Because if they go for the undercut, they could be stuck in traffic. It's completely possible. But it could be the better idea. Because you can see that Aston Martin is not really going anywhere in the straights. They are not really making any pass. So they have to do them in the clean air. In fact, now Pral goes on the right side of the Aston, and that's another place lost for Tasca. For 5 seconds, since they have more downforce they can brake later. And look at that. They remained in 6th place, but they lost time on Pavliuk. So yeah, realistically they have to undercut massively, but they have to undercut. It's the only way to make positions for them. And I will go in 15 minutes. Or rather, let me see, because to make a pit stop here, you require about what? An entire minute. Okay, 60 seconds. Next time in 60 seconds time is actually nobody. As it stands, if they get on 73 seconds, they just have Hoffmans who is going slow. But luckily for them, there is a huge gap between Hill and Abuseh, on which this Aston Martin can sit. So they could go for a pit early on to gain on the other cars. It's risky, it's obvious, they will go off sync, it's obvious, they will be stuck in the traffic some time. But if they keep same strategy, they're not going anywhere. They have to change it. Because as it stands, the best place they can get is 7th. Anyway. And you have to risk it. And you have to risk it in these moments. Still on the offensive side of the table. As you can clearly see the intercooler on the Huracan with the V10 from all the sports as it not because oh, there's a contact, oh, and the Lamborghini is off into the gravel, and that was the worst possible moment to make a pass for Nopek. There wasn't the space, there wasn't the gap, there wasn't anything. They still went for it, and Zeiss is now in 7th place. As Nopek is again the main protagonist of an action which unfortunately saw a car going sideways. This time it was Zitz, as Tasca was about to make a pass on Pavliuk, but again there is no straight line speed on this Aston Martin. They have to change the strategy. They can't keep up with these, but they have to wait at the same time. Oh, they go on the inside thanks to the Mustang that is not really giving the way to these 3 cars. As Lobos just made another pass, this time on Suarez. As the sun is about to rise in Bathurst. This was a really terrible move for... Oh, the Mustang is in the wall. For Nopek, I'm sure a penalty will slam the 2-1. I really do not expect anything else. But this actually helps massively Tasca, paradoxically, because if they can get the move done on Pavliuk, in the corner just now on the outside they see it, thanks to the better downforce they can get a better braking and a better line, and they get the move done on the outside line. Can they defend? And the answer is yes, they can. And that position done for Tasca. So unironically this could have this may be the best possible thing for Tasca, Because all of a sudden there is one less car in front. Oh, more battle between Pavliuk and Pral, with Pral that made the move. The first moment he had the chance, and so the Flyby Esports McLaren is now in 5th place. As I was saying, Task is now in clean air with only one car in front, which is 4 seconds ahead. And as I was saying, this incident could have been the best blessing for Taska's team, because now they have clean air, and even if they get behind Nopec, they are still in 4th place. They can still make some ground compared to early on where Nopec and Zates were battling. Still, it was 2 cars impairment for Taska plus Pavliuk, who now lost the grip. And as you can see, Taska already gaining time on Pral thanks to a car more suited to the turning phase. And so now Lewis is attacking Zitz, who is in 7th place because of this incident. Have a look at it. There was no chance for Nopec, who absolutely went on through the car. Putting Zates in 7th now. So yeah, I expect a slam dunk for a Nopec. As I would say, goes for the move on Fiorentini with a very wounded car. Yeah, you can see the damage on the front end of the car. In fact, they are already going into the pits. The 164 started on the back end of the field. Now into the pits. So all the cars that started on the backyard. Dobos is the strongest one, although with some damage. In 11th place now. Faro follows in 14th. But lapping with a 202.7, so not really as quick as I thought, as Dobos now just across the line with a team personal best 01.5, which is not really slow considering Mutan's last lap was at 01.280. It's pretty expected Dobos and team to get very close to the top of the field. Then we've got the 164 in the pits. And I can't find a 70 because they are on track at the moment in 17th place. As now Tasca, matter of fact, oh, that's a 5-second penalty. Speaking of which, penalty for Nopec. 5-second penalty for contact with Zitz. And so at the moment, Tasca is in third. So all the sentences I said early on are in flames. Because now they are back in at least third. And also they just set their best lap so far, 01.2. So yeah, this car is made for the second sector, which is a good tactic. I mean, going quicker on And the second sector means also that you are using less your tires. Because you're using more the aerodynamic proficiency rather than the mechanical grip. And so the car is happier about that. Now the gap between Prado and Tusky is, matter of fact, 1.6 seconds. The public is practically drowning. With this just behind as it's about to get closer. Barracuda here. Because the 666. Oh, this was Barracuda nearly going for a move there into the side. Turn one. Because we are getting close to the pit cycle. And Akira still 1.8 seconds behind. So this gap has practically been the same since the very start of the race. As if they were both on the same strategy in terms of consumption, because they probably want to save tire. It's very odd that the gap has remained the very same. I suspect Nakira is actually going slower to maintain the gap 1.5 seconds, because it's very odd that it remaining the very same so consistently. I think Akira is actually purposely going slower to avoid the dirty air, and so to avoid having running tires, which is a always nice strategy. Apex lap was at 01.2, which is the team's personal best, but I'm more impressed, well, not really impressed, I'm more worried about Tasca's pace, because now 01.067 was 20 milliseconds only slower than Nakira's best lap, which was made in this very lap. 0.47 was the best and last lap made by Nakira, and Tasca's lap was at 0.67. So yeah, this Aston Martin is starting to reappear in my wants to watch rather. Well, it was already one to watch, but now they are only 17 seconds behind the leader after everything that happened early on. And 10 seconds penalty there. For what? Searching for it. Give me a second. Here you are. So, if Google can please, no, not this one. Google, move. Okay, I lost. 10-second penalty for the 666 for a pit maneuver on the 164. This one here. This is what oh! Yeah, that was... yeah, that was a move, let's say. This was definitely a move for Van der Zaag. That's why the 164 was already in the pits. So they tried to go for a gap that didn't exist and effectively murdered the 164, which unfortunately is now in 21st place. With, I suppose, more damage because it's after the pit. So this car is now with more damage than early on. Yeah, you can see the damage. So the 164 MR part coaching is not really having a good day so far. Zakir is now 1.1 seconds behind. Getting closer. I'm surprised the whole math crash hasn't been reported yet, but this could be because the control didn't pick it up. If anything, a manual report will be made. As now the gap between Nakira and Wilson is getting lower, 1.1 seconds, and the gap between Tusk and Nopek is getting very low. And in the last lap, an entire 7/10 have been gained by the Italian on Nopek, who is already behind Tasca, and also behind Pral. Those 5 seconds is enough for both drivers to get in front, because the gap between Nopek and Pral is 4.9 seconds. Hill just made a mistake somewhere. Wasn't much. And Karner here for Assetto Racing team is getting closer to Longden in 792. Scanner's last lap was a 0.2.5, Longden's last lap was a 0.4.1, so I fully expect the 99 Aston Martin to get closer and then to get the overtake done on Longden, but I also expect here, oh, there is another penalty, this time on Faro in the car number 22. That's a 10-second penalty for a contact with car number 44. Wait a second, because I like to see this again, because there were blue flags and not sure how much I agree with this, but Cassitter lost the place on doubles. Not really in a aggressive manner, considering the position has practically been given by Cassitter, considering doubles is way quicker. So a bit of partnership for them. So as I was saying, Faro, to be fair, the 44 had blue flags from half a mile earlier, and they effectively break it on in the middle of the racetrack, so I'm not really agreeing with the decision there by the stewards. probably they saw something else from telemetry. Because from the helicam, it seemed like the 44 actually braked in the middle of the braking of the prior to the braking line. Because effectively there you have to brake while turning. But you have to do it after the kink, not earlier. In any case, now Nakira is quite close to Mutin. 13 seconds is now the gap between Akira and Nopek. So they are just battling with each other at this point. Unless someone else who is actually gaining on them will come back from that place. Because now Tasca is 1.3 seconds behind Nopek. He is already in third because of the penalty. And in this very last lap, Tasca gained 3 tenths on the front duo. Zace is also trying to tackle back. Zace's last lap was half a second quicker than Pavluk's last lap. There is a car with yellow flags. That's 666. Oh! Where is it? What happened? Oh, they just lost the rear. Oh, there was also a hit with the wall. They also lost completely handling of the car. And now Van der Zag sits in 21st place with also damage in the front end of the car. Matter of fact, now this is only 8 tenths behind Pavluk and Akira. Akira. I always have to remember that the accent is on the A, not on the I. Now, there are a couple of battles going on. There is also the one between Beliasev and Suarez in 12th place, but we will stay here for the battle for the lead. And if they battle a lot, oh, there is also obviously the battle for third now. So there was a moment where nothing was happening, and now everything is happening, as always. As the sun is about to rise in 6 AM in Bathurst, and the times are also getting lower and lower. 0.9 for Nakira, for Nakira, for Mattia. So it's easier to not mistake the accent, and so to not get it wrong, I will just call it by his name, so it's easier for me. Anyway, Mattia Nakira in the 9 and 8 flat out esports, now only a couple of tenths, no, 4 tenths behind the Mimmer ahead. Both are BMWs, so it's just a battle of skill and setup. As I said, last lap was at 0.937, but I also said the milliseconds because Tasca made 0.987. He is not having it. He is not having it. He is in fourth, quote unquote, because he actually is in third technically. And he's getting closer to Mutin, not on Akira. So he's getting closer to Mutin. 4 tenths gain in the last lap for Tasca. He's getting spicy for our 8 hours. So this will be the battle for the lead. Last lap was at 0.1 for Nakira. This is a mental battle. And Muten 777 01.3 behind 01.4 for Nopek, 01.0 for Tasca. Fastest car among the four. Once more, I will add. Even because now Nakira is pretty close to Muten, can't really push, and he has to stay on the same pace as Muten, who is actually going slower than both Nakira himself and Tasca, as just now there was an overtake between Sores and Balasev. As you can see here, oh, with the Mustang going extremely wide, and the Sores going into the pits, so nothing matters anyway there. So now Nakira is very close to Muten. Tasca is, well, not surprisingly, there, just behind. But unfortunately for Tasca, the Aston Martin ahead is very strong in the straight line speed, so they have to go for something different. And then Zitz finally reached Public, who is on the other side of the hill. They have so much top speed that this overtake will be quite easy for them. Now we go back in third, because realistically Nopek will not really defend much against a very quick Aston Martin. It has a better line through. Never mind, it defends a tiny bit. Tasca can't really make the overtake there in the chicane. They have to do it before the second sector, otherwise they will lose time. Can they do it in the very first corner? Have to dive on the inside. They do go on the inside. Oh, again defensive. Nopek very defensive there on Tasca. Even if they have the penalty, even if they are effectively already behind, they just don't want them to pass. And so it was a 01.0 for Tasca compared to a 01.6 for Nopek. It wasn't quicker than the duo up ahead who put together a 0.9 for both of them. I remember the gap was 17 seconds early on between Tasca and Muten. Now it is 15.5. But now Nopek sits in front of the Italian, and realistically he will lose time. Now this could be a good chance for a slipstream action for Nakira, as the 777 up ahead, who had a lot of bad luck in the past races, both here and in other communities, is now sitting there in front of everybody else. But I'm not sure how much this will go on. Muten is effectively losing on both Nakira and Tasca, who is going in the pits to get the undercut done, and also to avoid battling with Nopek, who is, as I said, a quicker car in the straights. There isn't much you can do against that. He's also defending quite well in the making, as you just saw the rooftop of these two cars. So 60 minutes have gone through, still 7 hours to go, and there's a yellow flag. And it's again the 44. As Nakira in second place with a car. Oh, there is a car in the middle. It's again the 44 that chose that moment to get around. Sasuke is now in 12th place, just behind Belasov. And in some sort of clean air, because apart from Belasov, they have 17 seconds of clean air. While these two are still battling. In the final chicane. 1.5 for Muten. It was actually a very slow lap, to be fair. As in fact he goes into the pits and Nakira, out of ideas at this point, because there are many options on the table. It's either going longer or going at the same time as your rival, just ahead. So the best option for them at the moment is to go for the overcut, because in Bathurst the overcut is actually not that bad. Depending on the traffic, the overcut could actually be a great idea. Nopek also went in the pits, obviously not to defend against Tasca, who didn't repair the car. There was some side damage, but side damage is pretty much useless to repair. I am still surprised that there hasn't been an option in all these years to avoid repairing certain points of the cars. Because if it was for me, the side damage would have been always not need to repair. Pral is now in second place, Pavlik is now in third, and Nopek is now going back on track after their 5-second penalty, so this means that Tasca will be ahead, but I'm more interested in what's Pral going to do, because that 5-second penalty could help Pral. As Nopek is 3 seconds and possibly a tiny bit more, considering the tires left to get heated up. There was a mistake somewhere. The answer is here. Maybe would just break in the middle. I'm afraid I had to take evasive action. And Nakira went in. Unfortunately, they couldn't go for another lap because it was a bit too tight, and so they went in for their mountain repeat. Same goes for everybody else. It's not really that surprising, and Tasca narrowly misses his action with Bilasov, as even the Mustang will have to go through the pits. And if anything, Tasca had just time to get closer with the slipstream and to say thank you very much. Perfectly timed to them. As Nakira is now back in the lead, because Gates is now 2 seconds behind. So terrible pit stop for Gates. There wasn't even a challenge, there wasn't even a fight, it was a complete blunder for... Oh, Nakira just went wide. Complete blunder in the pits for Gates. They've lost 2 seconds on the Italian. Tasca, we are surprised in third, and Prad is now in fourth. With a better pit stop. 59 seconds only in the pits. Compared to the 61 on Tasca's side. So they also gained 2 seconds on the Italian, who is now 17 seconds behind the leader. Lizitsky is now in the car. Nopek is now getting very close to Werg now, driving in the 195 flyby. So we'll go for a little lap with the 31 for 2 minutes to see if Nopek can gain enough time on Werg. See, Nopek gained a good chunk of time on Werg. Mekalen up ahead is lapping slightly slower than Aston Martin behind. Just in front of him there is a Ferrari. That one is one in 20th place. There's also an overtake opportunity here between Fonseca and Faro, with Dragon 13 in AM class that can't really attack considering there is a blue flag scenario. Oh, that was close to calamity for Gates, because Gates was about to crash into the BMW just ahead that has blue flags. And have to give the way. Obviously this section especially, you can't really do much apart from staying behind. As Nopek is very close to Werg this time around. Nopek is now dangerous position for Werg. And also to talk about what's happening up front, well, it's completely useless considering there are the cars that are getting lapped just now, but Gates last time around was at 05.892. This is how much lapped cars ruined his pace. Certain cars are lapping in the 206, 207. Gates can't really do much apart from staying behind and hoping for the best. But as everybody else will do eventually. Novak tries the outside line, can't really work there into turn 2. Can it work into turn 3? As he goes on the outside, he's using my advice early on, and he does it on the outside on a slightly banked surface. And Novak goes on for 4. I told you all early on that this was possible, and he did indeed make the pass. This was Pizzuti going in a 296 very slowly in the grass and losing the position on Dobos. Now Novak is in 4th place after making a great overtake on the outside. 5 seconds behind Tasca though, who is actually going quicker than anybody else. 13 seconds is now the gap between Tasca and Wilczynski. But that is happening. That right there is the battle for 15th place, as far as just ahead of Barf. And also behind the 2nd place holder overall, with Gates just in front, not really flying away. Brandon Gates here. Barf now in 15th, with Barf in 16th, with Fonseca in 17th, Barracuda just following, and Castagnoli in the 164. He's not really having a good time. Fonseca, you can see there, going on the left side of the Aston Martin, and that's another position done, and that's another place going on, going off for Barf. Maybe 2, maybe actually 3, because even Castagnoli overtakes Barf into turn 1. So you can see from the helicopter, look at this, he loses 1 place, the Aston Martin goes for the inside line, and Barf doesn't defend, and by doing so he loses another place. And so there's Castagnoli in 18th place. Just behind. No, there is a contact and there is a crash there between the Aston Martin and the BMW, and that was Barracuda and Fonseca having an incident. Another incident here, and there is an Aston Martin off. And I'm not sure who that was. So we'll go for a replay. Look at this, there was the first contact with the Aston Martin, that was Barracuda. And then there was, I think, yeah, that was Tasca. Yeah, that was Tasca making an incident. Oh, that's a disaster. That is a disaster for Thomas Tasca. Yeah, have a look at it again. So the BMW just decided to defend the inside line. So again, another incident for blue flags. And it's not possible to have incidents about blue flags at this stage of the race. Especially with cars that are fighting for the very win of the race. Because it doesn't make any sense. If you have a blue flag, just give the way of pass. It's not really that difficult. And this makes me extremely angry, because it's not possible to have race ruined because you can't really follow the guidelines. There are guidelines that have to be followed. There is a meeting at the very start of the race. You have plenty of time to train yourself to avoid these kind of situations. They somehow still happen after all these years. And it's honestly always awful, and it doesn't make any sense. And now Tasca is 12 seconds behind Gates, 21 seconds behind the leader, and only half a second in front of Novak, who is actually benefiting massively from this, even after his own 5-second penalty. This could basically put Tasca back in third, in fourth, maybe even fifth place, as Dobos He's very close to Mari. With Mari trying the overtake on the outside. Double trying the overtake on the outside. Mari defending on the inside line. As we now enter the technical zone, so very much can be done there. As Lobos is about to get the overtake done on Mari. Lobos now in neck place. Huge straight line speed advantage on Mari. That's now 8th place for the team that started. We're down in 24th. Tasca maybe barely survived this, because now the gap is rising again on OPEC. I really strongly expect a penalty for the number 13, because that was just bad. I don't have many other words. I really expected something bigger to that team. He's actually gaining back on the leader in all of these. Everything 7 nearly. Well, not anymore. 6 hours and 40 minutes to go. 20 seconds is effectively nothing at all. They can bring back the gap to 0. It's also important to give penalty based on the repercussions, not on your placement. You get a heavy penalty whether you are in 25th or 1st, especially for these kinds of thing. Zero 1.8 for Tasca, a bit of a slow lap for them, probably going on the grass on the beginning of Skyline wasn't a great strategy. Nopek gained massively in the first corner. So maybe while I was looking there was a mistake by Tasca in the turn number 1. Here and Barth both battling for position. There was a blue flag though, because that's Lubuslavski in 7th. They have to give the way to them when the moment arises. So Campos is about to make a pass in an impossible place with Barth getting very slow. And now you can see Lubuslavski extremely close to the duo. The Dreamer 5 obviously wants to pass. And then McLaren gives the way to no place to the BMW. And Kuzmenko is actually getting closer to Campos now. 1 second between the two. So last lap for Winzinski was a 01.9. Yes, last lap was at 01.7. Tasca's last lap was at 01.6 and 01.3 for Nopek. Probably the damage is not really helping the situation for Tasca. Stawizinski is in 16th place with the overtake on Campos. As you can see from here, oh, it's a little late unfortunately. As you can see from the sideline, you can see the McLaren going extremely. Oh, there was a contact between the two, between Campos and Barf, and Kuzmenko got a position on both the Aston and the McLaren. Campos now half a second behind Kuzmenko in a 1-1-3 Ferrari. Barf losing an eternity. Now, for some reason, this car is very slow now. As the best lap was at 02.3, so not really slow. And Nopek is going as fast as he can. 01.265 personal team best. Tasca's lap was at 01.1, same as Ulzinski, but half a second quicker than Gitz. So if anything, Tasca is still gaining. Not as much, probably the car is a tenth and a half slower. Which luckily it's a long lap. It's 2 minutes, it's 30 laps per stint, so roughly it's going to be 3 seconds lost on a whole stint. Not really the end of the world. It's obviously not great over an 8 hours time, so you can make it up with a repair. Hopefully not too big of a repair, but likely they will lose the position on Nopek because of what happened early on. Interestingly, 02.7, probably some lap cards for Wilczynski. 1.5 for Gates, so Gates is effectively on a slower pace compared to early on for the car number 777. Pascal's last lap was at 01.5, so even for them, bit of issues. Nopek's last lap was at 01.187, so it's clear that Tasca is battling with the damage. Kuzmenko is into the pits. Oh, the BMW is wounded, to say the least. Because now Aston Martin in third is getting a bit slowed down by the Aston just ahead. So you see now Tasca going for the move, a bit too late in the brakes. Oh, he lost the rear completely. There is contact between Novak and Tasca. As Tasca went way too late in the brakes. As there was contact. You see from here. Tasca going on the grass, losing the rear, somehow not demolishing the other cars around, but that's more damage to that car. That will have to be repaired because there is some rear end damage now, and Dobos is now the quickest car on track at the moment, 1 minute behind the leader, but with a 0.7 in this very lap they gained 1.3 seconds alone in this very lap. To be exact, 1.3 on Wilczynski, 7 tenths on Gates, 3 seconds on Novak, 2.5 on Tasca. Pretty much 1.5 on Werg, on Racing, and Lubowski. And again, another quick lap, 0.7, and that's another good, well, good, optimum, well, not optimal, great lap for Dobos. So 0.7 is the quickest in the field, but they are still 60 seconds behind the leader, and 30 behind their closest opponent, who is Lubowski in 7th. But again, the race is long, 6 hours and 30 minutes to go. And who knows what their final position will be. Last lap was 0.1 for Wilczynski, 0.1 for Gates, 0.1 for both Tasca and Novak, and then a 2.6 for Werg, Racing with a 2.2, and Lubowski with a 0.1. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. And more importantly, they are both getting closer to the top spots, because both Gates and Wilczynski are actually going slower than these two, even with the damage, because Tasca has damage to the car. But also remember that this was the car, the front of the field in qualifying. As number 95 is back on track, although several laps down. Also last lap was a 0.1, still 1 second at least faster than anybody else, with certain cars that lost a second and a half. As the sun is effectively high in the sky. 22 degrees is the track temperature and air temperature. These two are still on the same pace, Although again, very slow compared to early on. They are still gaining, but less than the usual. They both go into turn 2. So effectively Dobos remains the quickest car on track at the moment. In a bit of trouble with the back markers. The lap cars not really giving a good time to the race cars this afternoon. And Campos just made the overtake on Abusé. This was the overtake for 15th place. A very slow Ferrari. It's losing a lot of time as time goes on. And Opek is now about to make the pass for 3rd place. Tasca sits on the inside defending the line. This one has to stay behind for now. Can he make the very same move as early on the outside? No, he cannot. He stays in 4th. And closely follows Tasca, who is going very slow now. 0.2 in the last lap. Dobos behind, still gaining on everybody else. Till 1.1 the last lap for Dobos, the quickest car on track for the last 5 to 6 laps. Now half a second behind on the main back straight, on the corner straight, which is also a place where people live. You can actually rent one of the houses on the straight. Oh, there is a car off. That is a car number 11, I think it is. Yeah, it is Jan Pelle. A lot of damage to the car. Oh, he just lost the rear completely. And went straight on into the barriers. That was the TTR in 24th place. But yeah, as I said at the very beginning of the race, now the championship is... Oh, there is a contact! The 2-1 is off! After a contact with the back marker! And this could put Werg... Yes, it does! It does put Werg in 4th place! Contact with the back marker! Again, another blue flag incident! And Werg is now in 4th place! You can see what happened here, but it's a bit too late. Not too early, apologies. But the race control didn't pick it up, so I will do it manually. So this is what happened. Ferrari doesn't leave the inside line, although Nopek probably closed the line a bit early now that I look at it from the outside. With Nopek closing the door maybe a bit too early, to be fair. It's not like the Ferrari could have done anything else in this particular occasion. And so Nopek is now in 5th place, so Tasca is finally free to leave, and Bellius have just made a position on Pizzuti for 10th place for the Mustang 110. As I was saying, Tasca is now quite happy, considering the major distraction is now in 5th place. And Tasca just set also a 01.4, gaining half a second on the leader. Seconds behind Gates, who is also only 4.7 seconds behind Wilczynski, who is actually going very slow compared to his teammate early on, as Nakira was clearly quicker than Wilczynski, currently lapping nearly a second slower than Nakira. Ah, okay. So apparently the 998 has damage. Yeah, I can see that. And so that's why they are actually going slower. They have some damage in the car. They are losing time on the straight. Nopek on the other hand is... oh, yellow flags. There's a car somewhere. Oh, there is a car. This was the 993. Brunel sitting in the middle of now the racing line. As Nopek is going 5th, and he's not getting closer to work. I wonder if the tires are ruined because of the earlier flat spot. So as I said at the beginning of the race, this championship is now brought to you by brought to you by Simnet Racing, which is a great provider for steam equipment, especially in the pedals equipment, so load cell and pedals in general. And check out their website because there are some important products that may help you get a better racecraft in these races, because the championship is long, as you can see from here. No, this is the wrong one. From here we are at we are at the 8-hour Bathurst, then there is a 12-hour Silverstone, and then a 6-hour Spa before the summer pause, with Zandvoort following, the Nürburgring, Golden Park, and Watkins Glen ending the season. The next race is on May the 17th at Silverstone for 12 hours. Last lap around for Wilczynski, 01.8. Everybody else behind gained, apart from Werg and consequentially Nopek. Dobos still gaining. At this point it's completely useless to even mentioning it. Dobos now 25 seconds behind the Yugoslavski, and that's an entire 60 seconds gap with Wilczynski. They made a mistake here. They cut the chicane altogether. Yes, they did. They decided that chicane was overrated and went straight on. Also battle with the BMW there. Blue flags. This could be the chance for Nopek to making it back into 4th. The McLaren is stronger, but the Aston Martin is stronger. To go on the left side of the racetrack to go for the cutback on the outside. This time the McLaren defends already the outside, leaving the inside line up for grabs, but the Aston is too much behind, and Nopek has to keep himself in 5th place. Now there are also a couple of blue flagged cars just there ahead. That will probably give the way as soon as the straight starts. But just here. Now they are free to go. As McLaren goes to right side of the racetrack. Same as the Aston Martin that follows closely. This could be a good possibility for Nopek, although the McLaren is using the slipstream from the cars ahead. So looking at the chart, there is something big at the moment. The car number 521, which is in 3rd place, has a broken entry list. So realistically, Pizzuti just made another mistake there. I made a mistake. Okay, it's impossible. It's there in a straight line. So as I was saying, the car 521, which is currently in 3rd, and realistically one of the cars that has the best chance to get a win, has a broken entry list. Because apparently the teammates cannot drive. So either task goes on for 6 hours, or they will have a moment where they can't race anymore. So this car is... I don't even know if it's considerable anymore because of the entry list problem. Because apparently there is an issue. And their car doesn't even exist in the entry list. As Aston Martin is now going on inside line, and that's the 2-1 going for 4th place with a great exit speed out of the chicane. The McLaren can't really do much apart from looking at it, going away in the sunshine. And that's Nopek now in 4th place with an asterisk, considering the 3rd placed car has a broken entry list. And I know this game very well. If you have a different number than the one you put yourself in the race, well, there isn't much to discuss there. You have an entry list broken and your co-pilots cannot join. So probably Tasca and the team will have to DNF. So we will see when the pit stop happen as Wilczynski. What happened here? They lost 4 seconds as he makes the position on Pitsuti. Wilczynski lost 4 seconds on Gates. This was a normal pass. And I think it was because of the Mustang. So you can see the front end being heavily damaged. I think it was a terrible situation for Wilczynski. 203.6. So he lost 1.5 seconds in this very lap. It's probably when I was looking at the battle for fourth, I didn't see a mistake by Wilczynski. Because now the gap between first and second is 8 tenths only. You know, there's another car in the way, although it goes away as soon as possible. So the gap is 8 tenths, or back to a second. So now the entire podium is in pretty much in with a question mark, because I don't know if the 5-1 is effectively even in the leaderboard at this point. If not, Nopek will be in third at the moment, but he is not really as fast as the top 2. And he is currently 26 seconds behind Wilczynski, compared to Tasco, who is 15 and gaining. So this could realistically be disaster for big project Strata. So let's see if they will ever get it right as the time progresses. It was a 0.1.8 for Wilczynski, 0.1.9 for Gates, 0.1.9 for Tasca, 0.1.6 for Nopek, 0.2.2 for Werg, and then the lap times are pretty much the same. Dobos stopped gaining massive chunks of time. Never mind, it was said. 0.1.2 for Dobos. Matter of fact, now the gap between Dobos and Ljubovzaski is 22 seconds, not 30 anymore. And the gap to the leader is 57, not 65 anymore. It's clearly a difference in pace. Which is not really happening between Wilczynski and Dobos. Rather, it's Dobos that is quicker than Wilczynski at this point, as Gates is extremely close to the leader. This could be the battle for position. And after this battle, I will have to put an end to the first part of the stream, as the second part will be brought to you the final 2 hours of the race. So this is the current fight for position. And realistically this could end the very main straight. Gates can maintain the gap to Wilczynski in this technical section. They have to be quick because effectively have not much time left in my own ability. But I really want to see this action on track happening. The last lap for this was a 1.4 compared to nearly 0.0 for Wilczynski. It's a 1.98. The last lap. This is probably same lap time for both cars. The racing timer is still 15 minutes short. Oh, that was a bad exit for Wilczynski. With Gates already going on inside line, he thinks about it, he goes back to the normal racing line. Can he have a better exit through turn 1? I think he didn't have it. But he has a slipstream. And Wilczynski doesn't. Look at him going... Oh, not this one. Wilczynski already defends the inside line. With Gates on outside. Oh, he lost a lot of time there. Going on the marbles. Both of them are now going down here, but you can see the gap is very little between both Gates and Wilczynski. Wilczynski in more difficulties than Gates following, although Wilczynski's advantage is just here in the hairpin. You can see that Wilczynski gains some time in the hairpin. So this puts Gates back some meters, allowing Wilczynski to at least defend better for the following corners. And again, into turn 1, you can see the gap is pretty much 0, but yet just enough to not give Gates any chance for an overtake. Oh, he loses the rear. This is completely the rear. And if anything, this battle will go on for another lap. There's also a battle for fifth because Werg lost a lot of time last time around with Tissing in the 77 Lamborghini. Remember that Tissing was in third place early on. Then incident with Nopek put the car back in 6th place. Luckily for Winzinski, there is a Ferrari in the middle, giving some slipstream to the 998. So Gates again can't really make a move for the lead. Both cars are pretty much on the same pace, but this time this could actually be the opportunity for Gates. He stays behind, he doesn't commit to the overtake. Oh, he just used every single centimeter of the AstroTurf to get a better exit. But I don't think he has enough. Once more, Winzinski remains in front. Jansen makes an overtake on Fonseca. 17th place. Oh, and there is an Aston Martin going into the grass. And more contacts there among cars. With Janssens and Kuzmenko in the Ferrari battling the position. It's car number 63 battling with again Tasca in the middle of it all. Not really having any luck with blue flagged cars, that's for certain. Oh, there is contact! Oh, there was a contact with Tasca and... oh no, apologies, that wasn't Tasca. I was sure it was. A humble mistake. It was another car. Just don't know which one. Oh, not which one. So, it was a 617, apologies. Janssens made another pass, this time on Fonseca in the car number 13. And likely Kuzmenko will do the same on the car in 18th place. And this is the battle for first place that still goes on without any real difference. And oh, that's Winzinski off, cutting completely the chicane, getting some time on Gates. And realistically putting a bit of an end to the fight, considering the gap raised up to half a second. And so this also ends my stint for this afternoon, because I have a commitment in a very little time. So I can't really stay here for the whole time, although I would like to do so. But just keep it here for the next straight. In any case, I'm Cristiano Romano. This was the first stint of the 8 hours of Bathurst. The second stint will happen at the very tail end of the race for 2 hours. In the second part, this is already. I should technically be already in the YouTube channel, waiting to be started. Anyway, I'm Cristiano Romano. Thank you all to have followed the race, and I will see you all next time. Bye!